Building websites can be really frustrating because the process can feel like it goes on forever sometimes, doesn't it? That back and forth with the client, the design iterations, the IE testing, all of those things can take forever. And so by the time your website is actually live, it can begin to feel a little bit out of date already. Then you add into the mix clients that don't get that they need to maintain and update their website on an ongoing basis. And within a few months, it's beginning to feel a little bit embarrassing. A couple of years down the line, and it is so embarrassing that the client gets it now and isn't referring customers to it. What a disaster. You've built this website and already it is not being used to its full potential. And that is the frustrating thing with web design, that so often the sites we build don't reach their full potential. Sure, a lot of clients now grasp that they have to do basic maintenance on their sites. They will do those little bits of updates that they need to. But they don't really recognize that a website needs to be maintained and evolved over time. It's not just about updating some typos, it's about really making fundamental improvements to the website over the time. Of course, as web designers, we're in a bit of a difficult position here. It's hard for us to talk in terms of site evolution and constant updating because it just makes us sound like we're money grabbing. It makes us sound like our only aim is to get more money out of the clients. And of course, we know that that's not true, but we need to start convincing clients. We need to present our arguments in such a way that they get that a website has to be evolved over time. Now, I've been tackling this problem for a few years now, and there are kind of 5 approaches that I use to get across to a client that they need to be evolving their website rather than just building it and leaving it. So what I want to share with you are those 5 approaches. The first one is the garden analogy. Now, this isn't my idea. This is Seth Godin's that came up with this. He said a lot of people see their website as a building. With a building, you plan it, you build it, you're done. Sure, there's a little bit of maintenance to do, but basically you're done once you've built it. But in actual fact, he argues that a website is really like a garden. It needs pruning, it needs nurturing, it needs caring for so that it grows and evolves and changes over time. And the longer a garden is there and established, the better it becomes. A well-established garden is so much better than one just planted. And that is so true with the web. Especially pruning. The number of clients who keep adding more and more content to their website and they never prune back. They never tidy up their garden. So it's hardly surprising that so many websites are like overgrown gardens. The second approach that I use is the false economy argument, and this works on the boom and bust of redesign cycles. You know what I mean? A website is launched, it's lovely, it's spangly, it's great, everybody thinks it's wonderful. And then over time, it becomes out of date. The design is dated, the technology is no longer appropriate, there are better ways of doing things, the content isn't maintained, content isn't removed, and the website slowly decays to the point where people are too embarrassed to point customers at it. So it's no longer of any use whatsoever. You're not getting anything out of that website. Eventually, senior management realize that there's a problem. They throw their toys out of the pram and it's redesigned. And it's spangly and it's new and it's lovely. And then the process repeats itself. Now, this is a false economy, this kind of boom bust of redesigns for 2 reasons. First of all, your website is only effective for a small length of time that it's alive. It's live. When it's first launched, it's great, it's wonderful, it's effective, but very quickly it's no longer effective. And so you're not getting value for money there. Secondly, every time you do a redesign, almost always they're throwing everything out and starting again. The good, the bad, it's all thrown on the heap, cast aside. And that is another false economy. Very rarely do websites need an entire new redesign. Very rarely do they need entirely replacing. Normally, a website can be built upon and improved if that is done as an ongoing project. If a website's been left for 2-3 years, yeah, of course you're going to have to throw everything out and start again. But most of the time, you shouldn't need to do that if you're evolving it gradually over time. So that's the second argument. Third item is the SEO carrot. The great thing with websites that are maintained and evolved and improved over time is that they keep changing, is that they have new content, that they're restructured, and Google loves that. Google comes to websites that are changed more often. Google will rank websites with new content better than other sites. And of course, clients get that. They love that. They want to be number one on Google. And this is a way of achieving that. So talk about the SEO carrot and it will make a huge difference. My next one I have grandly entitled The Path to User Enlightenment. And it's the truth is that no matter how much usability you do, usability testing you do within the design process, your website is never really going to be right. You're not going to be sure whether it's right. You're not going to know how to approve it until it goes live. When it goes live, then you can start watching real users interacting with your website in real time, and you can see how the website really works. You're never going to be able to get all of that just from testing in the development stage. So as a website goes live, in that period of time after the website goes live, we learn more and more about users. We become more and more enlightened about what users need. Yet there's no money there to do anything about it, because all of the money's spent on the development cycle and not post-launch. It tails off dramatically at post-launch. So there's a problem there. You need ongoing investment in order to be able to keep that cycle, keep learning from users and improving the site. The final consideration, the final thing you can use to convince clients that they need ongoing investment in their site is the phase 2 list. You know how clients always scope creep? They always add to the scope of a project. And it's not surprising, I can understand it. They're not involved with the web all the time, and so they don't necessarily think of all the things that need to be done on a website, all the stuff you could do. So they have ideas as the project goes along. Now, as web designers, we hate that because we've provided a fixed price and we don't want the scope to creep. But here's a trick that I use and is brilliant. Encourage that. In fact, I come up with a thing that is outside of scope before the client does. I preempt them. I come up with some great idea of what I'd love to do on the website that's outside of scope, and I say, hey, we really ought to do this. It'd be great. Let's put it on a phase 2 wish list. And then when they come up with an idea, go, yeah, let's put it on the wish list. And you start building up this wish list of additional ideas. Now, the reason that's so great is because it gets the client thinking about that phase 2, that next step. What are we going to do when we launch? And it also deals with the scope creep problem at the same time. So 2 birds with 1 stone there. So there you go, that's my list of 5 approaches for getting clients thinking about their websites as being something that evolves and changes over time. It's the garden analogy, the false economy argument, the SEO carrot, the path to user enlightenment, and the phase 2 wish list. Hopefully that'll help.